I'm frequently asked by my customers how they can print payables check register reports at the end of a period, for example. And there are three different ways you can do this. One way is using Smart List. I'm going to pull up Smart List, and I will open up the purchasing object and the payables object. And you could create one out there. I'm just going to pull up the one that says today's payments, the default one. And you see it creates somewhat of a check register for me. I can see my document number, my check number, the date, and the checkbook, and so forth. I can even go through and put in a date restriction or some criteria, such as the beginning of the period to the end of the period, and have the report recalculate. And this is great and well and fine, but if you want to see where these accounts were, where the invoices that these invoices were paid were expensed, you cannot do it from here. For example, let's take a look at this report for this one for Advanced Office Systems. If we go through and add some columns to it, if we add the columns for the accounts payable number, for example, and we also go in and add the purchases number, let's see, purchases account number, and I'll click OK, and we'll let that recalculate. You can see on this particular one, it's showing that it was expensed to account 561.50. So here I have the inquiry screen pulled up for that particular document that invoice is paying. And if we drill down, we're going to see that it was indeed expensed to an accrued purchases line, not there we go, accrued purchases. It was expensed there, and not through this 561.50. That account number actually comes from the default for the vendor. So we can see that the Smart List is not going to show us where those invoices were expensed. So let's take a look at a couple other ways we can do this. On purchasing and reports, there's a check information option, and there are two kinds of reports out here. One is a check register that is similar to what we get out of Smart List. So again, I'm going to change this from beginning of period to end of period, and we'll print this to the screen. And from here you can just see it's pretty much the exact same report in report format. And here is the invoice that we just looked at, or the payment we just looked at. Now let's look at the same report utilizing the check distribution option. And again, I'm going to put in the beginning of period to end of period date range and click on print. Now this report will show me in detail where everything was expensed. So here's this invoice, or this payment, $234, we've been looking at all along, and I can see the entire general ledger distribution for all of the invoices that this payment was paying. So if you want to see where something was coded in general ledger, this is the way you'd need to look at it. So this will show all payments for the time period and where the invoices they're paying were expensed. Hope this helps.